Good morning, everybody. How are you? Thanks for tuning in. I don't have a whole lot to talk about. Sometimes I've got something on my mind, but not today. Just gotta keep doing what we're doing. Not put too much emphasis on the individual trading session. Focus more on how we do over a couple weeks. I'm not sure about that. Pet yaks. You could ask Trade Day if you want. They're very good about responding. No news today, Holden. Thank you. How does a prop firm work? Well, you basically pay to take a test, and if you pass that test, then you get funded. And then you keep almost all the profits, but the firm keeps the losses. Now, if you lose the entire account, you don't owe them any money. If you make money, you can keep almost all of it. Sounds too good to be true, but the evaluations are passable, but it's not as simple as just making $100 before you lose $100. Got to pass the test. Good morning, Sergio. Yeah, Dylan. Yeah, I used to have a pretty negative view of prop firms. I just didn't understand them enough. That was a good lesson. It's like blaming a spoon for gaining weight. A tool is just a tool. It's up to the person on how they use it. Some interesting looking price action. I'm actually going to use this in the uh, updated super scalping video I'm working on. We'll get started in a few minutes if it looks good. How many points is the ideal default setup for take profit and stop loss on MNQ and NQ? That's like asking which bear is best. We have no idea how you're trading. Almost every metric like that in trading exists in a vacuum. It means nothing by itself. It only means something in relation to your approach. For me, I'm scalping. I'm not looking to catch a change in structure or even anything major. I'm just trying to trade the movements within the movements. So for me, that's 5 points, 4 or 5 points. But you're going to get a different answer. And those answers are going to be reflective of the approach that the person answering is using. It's like there's no best risk reward ratio. It means nothing by itself. It only means something in relation to the win rate. And the win rate means nothing at all too. You could lose money with a 98% win rate system. You could make money with a 5% win rate system. All right, let's take a look. I'm going to bring this down to a 4 and 4 bracket. All right, got distracted for a sec, but I'm back. Thinking of going long. think I sort of missed the move though. It's kind of hard to take a trade immediately after one closes. Volatility's been a little low through here, but it's still tradable, especially with the 4 and 4 brackets. My system tells me to short right now. So from 90 to 96, but ain't feeling it. Yeah, it would have worked. It's just it's not moving a whole lot. So don't really want to be, the trades are asking a little bit too much for me. So I'm really just waiting for it to pick up a little steam, if it can, before we stop at 950. Let's see how this looks on a 40-second chart. Not much better. All right, here we go. Down to the low of day. Probably a good push through it. Maybe below here. Down into the 60s. But, you know, as always, I just say stuff like that. It doesn't actually mean anything. I definitely could have taken a few more trades in here, but it's difficult for me to trade when price action feels too predictable, as that's a problem I should work on. Nah, I don't care. I don't care. I don't need to fix anything. I just need to get more less hesitant, I guess. Just need to get less hesitant at the stuff I know I'm good at. I don't need to be the greatest trader of all time in all price action, constantly adapting. I just need to be really good at one thing. Took a long time to realize that. All right, I'll just call it there. One trade, one great trade, and that's it. We're moving really slow, but I'm still waiting for that day where we get some really good price action for me, and then I just trade it real well. Like yesterday. Yesterday would have been a fantastic green day, but got ticked out. Still a green day. Great trading, but makes a difference. Been thinking of maybe making a video on making your max daily loss really small. That changed so much for me. And it goes against everything we want to do. Because we want to make money every day. We want a chance to make it back. But I set my max daily loss to just 2 losing trades. If I lose the first 2. And that's great. I do need to be doing some better green days though. That's okay. So we got 4 points right there. Great job in consolidation. Could have had a little more aggressive entry, but not really, because when you're trading brackets that small, then you can wait for the consolidation to come back down a little bit and then short and follow to the other side rather than timing that reversal. All right, cat's trying to climb on me. So that's it. It's really slow and steady, but I don't know, this is a lot of green days in a row, even if it's small. And it all adds up. So I'm pretty happy with that. I feel like for the first time since I started and, set out to make my own system through pure experimentation with no outside influence, I feel like I actually truly know what my edge is. And now it's just executing it. Before, I thought I did, but now I really do. And that doesn't mean I'm going to start pulling in millions, but I do know exactly what I have to do. So I'm happy. All right. Thank you everybody for watching. I appreciate all of you. Hope your trading went well today. It was some interesting action. A little slow, a little weird. Hope you did well. Thank you, Sergio. Thank you, Wetlands. Thank all of you. You're all really great. Great people. Did have to hide someone from the channel in a moment where I might have taken a trade, and then I was a little bothered by that, but I let it go. Anything negative is just motivation for me. So, am I profitable? No. I passed an evaluation, and this is a funded account. But I'm still learning a lot. It's going to take a long time before I even say I'm consistently profitable. This is day 243 of trading. So, 243 trading days ago, I just started taking random trades at all times of the day in every single possible condition, and basically I've spent that whole time. The goal was always to just do everything random and experiment with every possible variable until I found something that worked best for me. And so maybe that took more time than following an established approach, but I never would have found something that works this good for me personally if I hadn't have done that. And I honestly don't think probably 80% of people are actually willing to put in the time to do that, because they want the results now. Even I want the results now. You know, I'm not saying I'm any different. I have to constantly remind myself to focus long term. But, you know, there's a difference between strategy hopping after 2 weeks and actually starting with nothing and building your own entirely unique system from the ground up. And that's not necessarily better than strategy hopping, but it's going to be hard to find something that's extremely personalized to you and plays to your exact strengths and weaknesses. I think doing it my way is also much more painful. Maybe not painful, difficult, discouraging. I mean, there's been like at least 8 times now where I thought I actually had it all figured out, and then I get humbled. But, you know, for the first time, I feel like I know what my edge is. I know what I have to do. In the past, like, month, I've made some pretty revolutionary trading in my own approach. Things I wasn't thinking about. Or things I knew, but I didn't have clearly defined rules to actually fix. You know, it was probably like 1 month ago where I was like, don't adjust the chart. Just stick with one thing so you can get used to it. And now I'm like changing it multiple times during the session to force the conditions that I like and am good at. Is SMC legit? Please, as helpful as I can be, if you go to my main channel, iMan Trading, and then click on the Nothing Works video, proving every strategy fails, except for blah, blah, blah. Basically, anything you're going to find is an approach, not an edge. It's an approach to learning price action. So if you like how those concepts contextualize the way the candles move, then that's great. But nothing works on its own, you know? We can currently, for free, as retail traders, without hardly any background in coding, automate supply and demand zones, support and resistance, every basic thing. Nothing happens consistently after these areas to be profitable on its own. The thing that's kind of unique about SMC, though, is and correct me if I'm wrong, but well, I guess all approaches like this are sort of the same. They try to tell you why something happened. They're like, oh, price moved here because blah, blah, blah. Because when the banks see this, they're going to do this. The entire thing is not based on actual evidence. It's based on speculation about how a bank trades. I mean, really think about that for a sec. No one actually knows. No one will ever know why anything ever did anything unless you have access to the people and the algorithms and the computers and the bots of why they bought or sold with market orders to actually move something. You don't need to understand why. Regardless of whether a frog is controlling the market or it moves based on weather patterns or anything else, regardless of that, these candles are clearly going up and down. There are movements, so there's money to be made and lost. Mostly lost. But please watch that video because it's going to explain everything more than I can here. Much better, because that's why I made it. Okay. Thank you very much, Wasteful Goblin. I appreciate that. We'll get there. I'm still pretty early. You'll get there too. We'll all get there. Alright. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Slow and steady. I appreciate you, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Take care, and bye-bye. Yeah, Dave, that's pretty much it. Unless you have an algorithm, discretion is the only thing that makes anything work. But in order to really hone in that discretion, you need to have some type of approach that works for you. You need to be able to contextualize stuff. Alright. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate all of you. You're all very kind. Alright. I'll see you tomorrow. I hope. Bye-bye.